was a movie, actually, that I saw when I was little. I don't know how young I was. And the love interest in the movie was a cello player. And there was a scene where she was in her apartment practicing cello. And she was playing Minuet in G. And I heard the sound of the cello and I thought it was so beautiful that I decided that I wanted to play that. We had a school instrument program, and my parents said, well, when you get into 3rd grade, which is when they started orchestra, if you still want to play the cello, you can pick that instrument. And I was dying. I had to wait for it. I don't remember how old I was at the time, but I definitely had to wait to get into 3rd grade, and it was so exciting when we got to choose instruments and I knew exactly what I wanted. I remember when our teacher was trying to see how it fit me, he said, can you hug the cello? And I just remember hugging the cello and being so happy that I finally had this instrument in my hands. I think for me, the experience of playing music becomes better and better all the time. It's one of those things where the journey of learning to be a musician is never ending. I still love the sound of the cello. On some level, I knew that I wanted to do it for as long as I could. Maybe one point when I really felt sure was when I was playing in an orchestra and maybe sometime in middle school, and this conductor was just so honest about the music industry. He said, you know, it's so difficult and really it's just a lot of hard work and really competitive, and he said, don't go into music. Unless you can't not do it, don't do it. And I realized I couldn't not play the cello. And so I said, well, I guess I have to. As a musician with other musicians, I think music itself can be sort of the common factor that makes you all belong. And so I think that's something that can give me a sense of belonging. But to belong doesn't mean you have to try being like the people around you. I think the worst thing is to have somebody label you. And I'll never really feel happy in a place if I'm feeling like I'm not really being myself. I think it limits people, and I think labeling can be really dangerous. I guess at any given point in my life I've been labeled in one way or another. And race is a big thing. That's one category that I think is so ridiculous. Certainly people want to categorize me as being black or white. And I've even been asked that, like, do you consider yourself more black or more white? Well, my dad's black and my mom's white, so I'm equally both. And I don't know why people feel the need to put people into those categories. And that's what I didn't like about trying to be classified as one thing or another, because I thought it didn't make a difference. I mean, what does that have to do with who I am? I'm just a human being, and that's kind of how I feel about everyone. I think it just frustrated me and maybe made me more determined to ignore race in myself and just be who I am. I think that people are the most important thing in life, because when I think about my life, the moments that have been the most memorable basically have to do with the people in my life. Who can say what the meaning of life is? But for me, I think if somehow I can bring more joy into other people's lives, then that gives me joy. And that seems like, for me, that's the point of it all.